Hey guys, welcome back to the Thinkorswim tutorial series. In today's video, we'll be going through all the steps needed to create a rolling order in Thinkorswim. Now the video today will be strictly a step-by-step tutorial on how to create a roll in Thinkorswim and some of the things you might want to keep in mind when making the roll. I'll be putting out a separate video later down the line going through my actual thought process when it comes to rolling options, kind of like what I look for when I do it and when I don't do it. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. Like everything else in Thinkorswim, there are several different ways to create a rollout on options in this platform. But pretty much every time I'm going to do it, I am going to be on the monitor page and specifically the activity and positions page. Now, I'm sure you're already familiar with this page. This is where you can see a breakdown of everything that's going on in your account right now. And it's going to separate all your positions by the order if you have it selected that way. So for example, if I came down here to all my options positions, the very first one, if I clicked on Amazon here, you're going to see that I currently have a vertical spread on Amazon. I sold the 35.30 call and I bought the 35.35 call. And again, that's a short vertical call spread. If I went down to Activision at V, you can see I sold the $84 call, the $79 put, and again, it separates it individually. Now in this case, I actually do want to roll one of my positions. In this case, it's the Disney position. You can see on this one, I'm currently up 93.37% on the position. I want to go ahead and roll that out. If I go ahead and click on it, you can see I have 4 of the 175 puts. I sold them for 91 cents. They're currently going for 6 cents. And if I wanted to roll that out, all I'd have to do is right click on the option. From there, you can see a little dialog box open up. And what we're going to do is go to create a rolling order, the third one down. From there, you can see it says I want to sell 4 calendars on Disney. And remember, it's saying sell 4 calendars because that's technically what I'm about to create. I'm going to be buying back these short options while simultaneously selling 4 new ones further out in time, which is technically a calendar spread. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click on that. All it's going to do is take me to an order ticket. Right here, we can see exactly what I said just a second ago. I'm buying back those 4 17 September 175 puts while simultaneously selling 4 new ones for the following week, 24 September. And I'm doing that for a net credit right now of 43 cents. Now, if you guys have watched any of my previous videos, I typically like to go 3-4 weeks out in time, generally 30 to 60 days, but we'll just talk about 4 weeks for right now. So in my case, I need to extend this time frame out. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click on the 24 September so I can see all of the other available expirations. You can see the 1 October, 8 October, and in this case, 15 October. That's the one we're going to go ahead and roll to. And you can see if I was to actually keep it on the same strike, the 175 puts, I'd be able to pull in an additional credit of $1.89. Now remember, that $1.89 is taking into consideration that I'm buying back my current short one, so I'm buying back those 175s for I believe about 6 cents, and I'm selling the new contracts, the new 175 puts, and I'm selling them for about $1.95. Taking that into consideration, the new $1.95 credit plus the 6-cent debit, I'm doing that for a net credit of $1.89. Now generally speaking, anytime you roll an option, you want to do it for a credit. Almost never does it make sense to do it for a debit, because remember, that means you're increasing your max loss while also reducing your max profit. Now, I suppose it could make sense if you're significantly rolling it back in your favor, you're putting the probabilities back in your favor, but generally speaking, I am never going to roll an option for a debit. But let's say I wanted to go further out of the money. Right now, I'm still on the 175 puts, but let's say I wanted to go further out. Let's try maybe the 170s, and I'm happy with that. $1.06 additional credit. I'm rolling it down even further, the 170 strike. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and hit confirm and send here. I'm going to make sure all of this looks right, and I'm going to hit send. Now you can see this was a real trade. I actually just filled on that. I sold 4 diagonals on Disney. If I go back to the monitor page, we take a peek. We can see I no longer have those 175 puts for 17 September. Those are all zeroed out. And I'm now short 4 of the 170 puts for the 15th of October. And that's all you have to do to roll a single leg option. Just like before, you would right click on it, create a rolling order, sell 4 calendars. Then from here, you would just need to pick the new expiration if you didn't want to just go 1 week out in time. Maybe you would pick the new strike price if you wanted to roll it down and out, or if you were comfortable with the same strike, or maybe you even wanted to roll it up. And then finally, you would just adjust the credit that you wanted to receive, and then that's pretty much it. You're good to go. Now, one more thing to keep in mind is the fact that you're only ever going to be able to roll out 4 legs in total. Now, 4 legs, that means the only thing you're going to be able to roll out is up to a vertical spread. Because remember, a short vertical, let's say I wanted to roll that out. That would be buying back a leg for this expiration, selling a leg for this expiration, and then doing the exact same thing further out in time, which would create 4 legs. Now, I actually created an example in this case, just so you guys could see it. I sold a vertical call spread against Amazon. If we open that up, like before, you can see I sold the 35.30 by 35.35 call spread. And if I wanted to roll out that vertical, all I do is right click on the word vertical here. I'm going to come down to create a rolling order. Now on this one, you can see it creates 3 different potential rolls. The very top one is the overall trade, the vertical call spread. The next one down is just rolling out one individual leg. In this case, it's rolling out the 35-35 call. The next line is rolling out the 35-30 call. So when you do this, the top one is usually the one you're going to click on. It's the overarching trade. The next 2 lines are breaking out the trade individually if I wanted to just leg out of it. So in our case, we're going to go ahead and click on sell one vertical roll, and you can see what it's doing. The bottom 2 are the ones that it's buying back. You can see it's buying back one of the 35-30 calls, selling one of the 35-35 calls, and that's to close out my current position. And then what it's doing is it's selling one of the 35-30 calls and buying one of the 35-35 calls for next week, rolling this vertical spread out 1 week in time, and potentially doing so for a 25-cent credit. But this is the most you'd ever be able to roll, is 4 total legs. So if you ever wanted to roll like a Jade Lizard, which is 3 legs, or an Iron Condor, which is already 4 legs, you would not be able to do it. For those trades, you would have to leg out of it. So in the case of an Iron Condor, which is just a short call spread and a short put spread, if you wanted to roll it out in time, you'd have to roll the put spread, then roll the call spread. You wouldn't be able to do the whole thing in entirety. You would have to leg out of it. Now, I will say it's a lot harder to roll spreads than it is to roll single legs, because remember, you have to get all 4 of these legs, in this case of the vertical, all filled on the same exchange at the exact same time, which can be very difficult to do. If you see down here in the lower right-hand corner, you can see my natural price. It was just -$3, and then the mid price was 22 cents, which means the natural price right now, let's say it was $1.70, which it was just a second ago. That means the natural is $1.70 debit. So if I wanted to roll out this spread right now and I wanted to guarantee that I was going to get filled, I'd have to pay $1.70 debit to do that, which in this case would make no sense. I only received $1.50 to begin with. I'm not paying $1.70 to roll this spread out 1 additional week in time. It wouldn't make any sense. That would be guaranteeing myself a loss on this trade. Now the mid price over here is 22 cents, saying, hey, you might be able to do this for an additional 22-cent credit. So originally I received $1.50 for this spread. If I got another 20 cents in credit for it, I could potentially make $1.70 total on this trade if it plays out. But just looking at this, I could tell that that might be a little difficult to fill, because the natural keeps jumping back to like -$1.70, -$1.80 in debit, and the mid price is staying static at 25 cents. So I could try and get filled on this. There's no guarantee. I might have to sit on it for a while, or I might not ever get a fill. So just keep in mind that when you are rolling out spreads, it is going to be a little bit more tricky. You're not going to get it filled as quickly as you would on maybe like a single leg option. And that's just one of the downsides with spreads in general. Yes, you are covering yourself from the beginning, but you can't manage them as effectively as you can single leg options. Positives and negatives with every trade that you do. Now, one other way you could do this is by simply going to the trade page, the all products page, and typing in the symbol of the spread that you wanted to roll out or the option you wanted to roll out. So we used Disney before as an example, so we'll throw Disney back up here. And down here at the bottom, we're going to open up this little positions page. And now down here, you can see my short for 170 puts, just like before. And just like earlier, we could go ahead and right click on this, create a rolling order, sell 4 calendars, just like earlier. So you can also create this rolling trade from the actual trade page itself. And finally, you can do it from the option chain as well. If we come up here and find the short option that I have on 15 October, you can see it's right here, the 170 puts. I could go ahead and say I wanted to buy those back, and now I'm creating a buy order. And let's say I wanted to roll those out to the 22 October. I could then find the 170 put, hold down the control key, click on the bid. And this is also a rolling trade. It would be buying back the 15 October 170 puts, selling a new one for the 22 October. Now, I would personally never do it this way because you are going to run into mistakes doing it this way. It's the manual method, but it's another option for you if you really wanted to do it this way. So just as a recap, to create a rolling order, I would always come to the monitor page, specifically activity and positions. Come down here towards the bottom, find the option you want to roll. In the case of coin, we're going to look at the 245 puts. All we'd have to do is right click on it, create a rolling order, sell 2 calendars. And then finally, adjust the expiration if I need to, adjust the strike price, and then put in the credit that I want to receive. Confirm and send it, and then we're good to go. So I hope that helped. We covered everything you would need to know to actually mechanically create a rolling order. It's not too tricky, not too difficult. And we covered a few of the things you'd want to look for, a few of the things you'd want to check before you actually create the roll. Now, I hope this helped. Be on the lookout for my next video going through my actual thought process when I'm creating a roll, what I look for, how I do it, when I do it, that kind of stuff. But if you guys have any questions in the meantime, please leave your questions down below in the comments. I hope you guys all make some money this week, and I'll catch you all in the next video.